So new, I have equipment, and hopefully you can hear me on this. Fancy. So slowly but surely I'm upgrading and learning. So yay. So fun fact, I am now on my fourth coffee maker because we killed the third one. That one did not live long and prosper. But, oh well, hopefully this one will. And I'm having a feeling that we may have to end up getting an industrial one, but it is what it is. I don't get it, but it's whatever. So anyway, let's talk about baking powder, okay? Baking powder is a really cool leavener, and it has 3 ingredients. Normally it has baking soda, right? It also has an acid, normally cream of tartar, and then it has a starch. Usually it's cornstarch because cornstarch is plentiful and pretty cheap, but a lot of people have an allergy to cornstarch. So we're going to make a corn-free baking powder. It's not a problem. We can totally do that. And I'm going to use Bob. He's my dude. We're going to use potato starch. We actually could, if we really wanted to, in a perfect, if I wasn't living in an apartment, I would totally be making a lot of things of my own accord, but I don't have always the space. But anyway, you can actually make your own potato starch if you really wanted to. It's not hard, it's a little time consuming, and with some patience you could do it, but I'm going Bob. But let's talk about baking powder a little bit. So baking powder is one of many different types of leaveners that are out there. And the whole purpose of baking powder is to help create a way for your bread and your cake to rise. So when water touches baking powder, it helps release the carbon dioxide bubbles, and that is what makes your bread or your cake go up. If you have a double action baking powder, which is actually pretty common out there, it'll do it in 2 ways. One, when the water hits it, sorry, I just totally hit my mic. I'm learning. When the water hits or the liquid hits the baking powder, it'll cause the bubbles, right? And then that will release the carbon dioxide, and then boom, it'll start to rise a little bit, But then when it hits heat, high heat usually, like in an oven, it will rise again. So that's why it's a double action. It's like a boom, boom. Anyway, we are going to do is we're going to make our own. And there's also ways that you can test your baking powder too, by the way, to make sure that it is still active, because things expire, they don't last forever. So I can show you how that also is a good way for you to be like, oh, is this still functioning? It's been in here since 1998 and it hasn't been opened. So is this still okay to do? If you don't have a corn allergy, we'll just use, for example, this regular corn baking powder. And the way to test that is you would need, and I have hot water. So you're gonna need a 1/3 cup of hot water. And this is just hot water that I got out of my coffee maker that is deciding to work. See, it's hot. So you've got your 1/3 cup right there, right? Just kidding, that's a 1/2 cup because I don't know how to measure. You always want to put it down on a flat surface to make sure that it is indeed a 1/3 cup. not all liquids will be semi-straight, and actually milk curves in the center. So a random fun fact. And then you're going to add a teaspoon of your baking powder. Now this is the regular baking powder. Again, when you add this in here, I'm going to pull this back so you can see. When you add this in here, if it's active and it's good to go, it's basically going to party like it's 1999. It's going to be bubbling like there's no tomorrow. Yep. See? It's making the bubbles. It's like basically you're making a little mini volcano. And it's a very happy camper. It's like, hey, let's do this, right? So essentially we're going to recreate this, but in a corn-friendly setting. What you're going to need is your container. The ratio is going to be this: 2 of your acid to 1 of your baking soda, 1, again, I hit the mic, of your starch. So if you're doing, we're just gonna keep it simple, 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar. So then that would be 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of potato starch in this instant. You could use arrowroot starch, you could use, or arrow starch. You could use tapioca starch. I went with potato. Potato is pretty similar, almost said similar, it's pretty similar to corn starch in that it's neutral in flavor, and it doesn't have a, well, it's neutral in flavor, and it also thickens very well. If you decide that you want to use potato starch as your regular starch, you can use it for gravies, you can use it in baking, you can use it in all sorts of things. But be mindful that it will thicken pretty fast. So, oh good. So I'm gonna use this guy. Don't judge me. I keep baby spoons because they fit in things so easily. And when I used to decorate cakes, the little wonky looking spoons that are kind of rectangular at the end, they helped so much when I was mixing my icings. I just added 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar, 1 tablespoon of potato starch, and 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Now I'm going to stir that up, and then we're going to do the same test to make sure that it's still going to do what it's supposed to do. 1/3 cup of water. Did it right. Yay. 1 teaspoon of our new baking powder. So, moment of truth here. Am I full of crap? Nope, I'm not. So, like I said, totally not hard to do. You can totally do this. You can double, triple, quadruple the batch. See, makes a fair amount. And as far as storing goes, you always want to make sure that you have a good secure lid on there, and you want to store it in a nice cool place. Okay, so that's making baking powder in a nutshell. It's not hard as a lot of people might think it is. It's super easy, super simple, and especially in this day and age where food prices are going up, cost of living is going up, it's nice to be able to cut the prices on some things. And food allergies is not cheap. So if I can show you how to make something as simple as baking powder and it saves you a couple of bucks, I'm more than happy to do that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and make some stuff. Have fun. Bye. So, bye. Oh, it's still going. Still going. Okay.